Hey guys, you're watching Daniel and Gian talking. Today we're going to check out the 2013 feature film starring Veer Das and Saif Ali Khan. I liked it. I had a good time. I mean, it didn't challenge me or anything. There was definitely not.
It didn't need to.
No,
I think if it did, then this wasn't Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is there to be political commentary on what's actually going on in the world, or, well, specifically America. This was more of, there's a little bit of commentary, but it's very subtle. It's not trying to beat people over the head with it. It's not trying to distract you from the point of the film, which is just kind of just have a good time between friends. And
definitely a good time film. Definitely felt like one of those raunchy, not Judd Apatow, but the guy that did The Hangover, like that kind of movie.
Todd Phillips?
Todd Phillips. It felt like a Todd Phillips film. Do we go through the movie?
We can. Yeah, we can.
The whole premise of the movie is, there's three friends. They've probably been lifelong friends or college friends. We don't know where they know each other, but they've known each other for a long time.
Hardick, Love,
and Bunny. Like, great names.
I'm definitely the Bunny of the group. I saw a lot of myself in Bunny.
You could be lame like Bunny for sure.
I mean, I'm definitely not.
But you're also kind of irresponsible like the other two as well. So you're like the non-fun part.
Am I
of
Hardick?
Bunny.
Do I like cry over women who wrong me?
You don't cry over women per se, but he's definitely better looking than you are.
I think they all are.
Yeah.
I think even Bunny's better looking than I am.
That's debatable. I wasn't a fan of Bunny, but
I'll take that. I'll take that as a compliment.
Anyways, so we start off with them. Hardick and Love are getting high on the couch, and neither one of them wants to reach for the remote. So they watch.
It's like symmetrically right in between both of them.
So they start like going back and forth about who did what last, so that the other one has to pick up the remote. Like, just lazy stoner stuff. And then what I found funny was like they have that Thriller rip-off video.
That starts the whole movie.
Yeah, it starts the whole movie. And that's a video that people post all the time here in the States, because it's
it's over the top.
It's over the top, but it's a blatant rip off of Thriller, except for the music. The video itself, the dances are obviously a little.
The clothing is the same. You can't get any more of a rip
like
off.
A real low budget version too, because the makeup was not the same.
It wasn't the same.
Thriller when Thriller came. I mean, we're going off topic here, but I'm just saying Thriller was an expensive video to shoot.
It was a Scorsese project.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know. See, yeah, but no. So I mean, I the opening was great. It kind of set the tone for the movie. Just
see what the guys are.
Exactly.
And then we go through. They all work at the same place together.
The same shitty office that really is only seen twice in the whole movie and is just kind of forgotten about. And then the party, because Veer Das wants to get married. That was
even though everybody knows that she's a terrible person. Like, all of his friends
doesn't like her.
They're like, dude, she's not cool. Like, what are you doing? Like, she doesn't even like you very much.
I saw myself in Veer Das in that moment.
Definitely.
You've definitely had those conversations with me.
Except Priyanka. Way hotter.
Yeah, because you'd have to. Well, if I was with that Priyanka chick, it'd be one of those things where it's like, all right, I guess you could put up with that to get with that.
I would
it's
understand.
Kind of like it's like this balancing act.
I'd understand, and then maybe you'd even be like, dude, I can't get anything better than this. Are you kidding me right now? Of course I'm going to deal with this. But I think you'd be more realistic about what was going on with that.
Definitely would not buy a huge ass rock like he did. That's for fucking sure.
But it's kind of it was a nice interaction when he finds out that she's been cheating on him
with this other guy.
Who's stalking her.
That was hilarious.
And then
they were all looking at each other.
And then he called fucker, right?
You fucker.
You fucker.
You fucker.
You fucker.
You fucker. Fucker. That's how they dude, that was funny. I mean, that was making me laugh. And I'm assuming it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah, it was funny. It was hilarious.
And then he slaps the shit out of him.
Yeah.
A huge hard Indian slap. But no, and then it leads to them going to Goa for the weekend because Bunny has to do a presentation or something like that.
Well, and also Hardy gets fired.
Oh, because of the night before.
Because he was smoking weed at the office trying to get laid.
Yeah. He misread signals, which I got to admit, it was a little confusing because they did kiss before he went down to get condoms.
Yes. That was definitely, like, when he came back and she's like, no.
I was like, what?
So they were just going to make out? I don't know.
That's, in that particular moment, I don't know.
And I mean, that's something
downstairs,
too. Like, in Hollywood movies, like, nobody ever goes to get a condom unless the condom is a gag.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think I've ever seen it now that you thought about it, or you brought it up. Because I've seen like people like looking in drawer, like you said, a gag, like
Right.
a drawer for it or whatever.
You know, like 40-year-old virgin where he can't figure out how to put the condom
Exactly.
on. You know, that whole
he
like
blows in it.
he blows in it. He tries to put it on his foot. You know, he's just like stretching it out. He's like, you know.
That's funny. No, I didn't think about that. You're right. They didn't.
Yeah, that's never.
No one's ever.
I always think about that too. Like you never. It always seems like the guy like finishes inside too every scene.
time,
and the girl's never like, oh, that's fine, whatever. You know, like I'm not gonna get pregnant. Like,
haha.
it's never like it's never those stakes are never involved.
It's never knocked up.
Yeah.
The movie, because that's what happens in Knocked Up.
Exactly.
And then the whole movie revolves around that baby. So.
2 Judd Apatow movies.
Yeah.
Both have condoms involved. They play important factors in the
I
films.
wonder what his college years were like.
I mean, I wonder.
Either that or he was friends with people.
I've seen him and I've seen his wife, so maybe we know why they got married.
It's funny.
No, I'm saying that maybe he lives knocked up.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, she let him stick it in her.
Maybe she was drunk.
You know he's had sex with her at least twice.
At least twice, and that's it.
But so kind of off topic, but on topic for the film. This is kind of a question for everyone out there. What is the reception of marijuana in India? Because
they're smoking a lot in this movie.
And pretty much in any of the trailers we've seen, any of the movies, with the exception of Gangs of Wasseypur, which I believe they were smoking not weed, they were smoking.
No, people said it was weed.
Oh, it was weed?
Yeah.
I thought it was hash. I thought he was smoking hash.
It was weed, but the pipe is like a
hash pipe.
It's like an old school pipe.
Got it. Okay. Well, then I must have misinterpreted comments then. But with the exception of that movie, which is a straight gangster movie, you don't really see it very often at all. So I'm just curious to know: is Baba's Herb, that's what they call it in this movie, like looked down upon? What is the reception of like normal users? Is this considered something for stoners? Because like in America, I feel like it's starting to really swing towards acceptability.
Yeah.
At least in California. California just legalized it this year. Recreational, so you don't need to have a medical card.
But even in movies here in the States, like anyone that smokes weed is like always like the slower kind
the down and out, the stupid person. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking, not just for movies though, just in general.
Right.
I just thought it was ironic that every time they were smoking, it would say like, cigarettes can kill you or something
Right,
at the
even though
bottom.
they're not
even
cigarettes.
smoking cigarettes. But so again, that's that. Just want to know, throwing it out there. Does anyone use it? Do any of our subscribers smoke marijuana? Is it like super illegal? If you get caught with even like the smidgen of it, are you going to go to jail forever? Because I feel like that's what it was like 20 years ago here, right?
You get in trouble,
Like,
for sure.
What's a Schedule 1
not
drug?
jail forever, but you'd get. I mean, even I feel like even in California, if you got caught with something, it was always, if it was less than an ounce, they'd let you have up to an ounce, basically.
And then they would take
so
it and
you
go
just get a
smoke it later.
misdemeanor, yeah. But if you got caught, like with even a roach, they would still call it less than an ounce. So they would always get you like.
Well,
that.
I don't know. I just think it's funny. I think it's something.
Well, it was a
that's-
major part of their character too. Like,
Exactly.
these guys like to drink a lot. Like when he's like, "Okay, I'm changing my life here," and he goes, and it's just there's trash everywhere on the table.
Some random. I
All
don't know
these
who that
bottles,
woman
like-
was. I don't
yeah.
know if it was one of their moms or something, just cleaning up the room in the very beginning of the movie, the house.
Oh, yeah,
Some like
yeah.
ladies cleaning up bottles and stuff. I don't know. I was just asking because if you look at like Rotten Tomatoes and like kind of the general reception of the movie, people don't really like it. It wasn't received very well. So I'm very curious to know if maybe that has to do with the fact that they are smoking pot. You know, maybe it's like, oh, it's this type of movie. It's the stupid movie.
Right.
It's not like a funny comedy / zombie movie. But yeah, I mean, the tomato meter, I think it's less than 50%.
Really?
I mean, obviously it
I'm
hasn't
surprised by
been
that, 'cause
reviewed.
It was pretty. Oh, I thought it was pretty funny.
I'm going to look it up right now as we talk. But
I mean, it was definitely. I mean, we barely get into the movie, but I thought it was funny. I mean, everything was setting it up. Everything was a cool setup. We saw, and it was pretty straightforward. Like you knew exactly where everyone's character arc was
100%.
going and stuff. And then he jumps into the pool. The guy takes his trunks off. That was a funny.
that was
little
fun.
gag.
What the girl comes into.
Yeah, and then she
She's like,
swims.
I've seen what I came for.
Yeah,
Or
and
something
then they
like
have
that.
like their little conversation, and he's like, where do I know you from? And then finally,
the
she
Facebook
drops
reveal?
it. I'm like, oh, we're friends on Facebook. You just broke up with your girlfriend, and now you're sitting
You
here.
put that shit everywhere.
Yeah, And to hear, I don't want to be a rebound girl. Like, I mean, she didn't throw that out right away, but you could tell, like, she knew exactly what this guy was up to.
Which is
and
good.
She was amazing. She was beautiful.
She was good too. I thought she was good as an actress too. And she was more than just a pretty face.
Yeah,
I think that's
definitely.
important because there's a lot of times where you're like, oh, look at this hot girl in this horror movie,
Right.
and she's a bimbo.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't trust her in any situation.
Right.
You would literally probably leave her behind.
She saved the day more than they did. For
Exactly.
Sure. Like, she came through. So.
She was the competent one,
Yeah,
which is good. Well, actually, the competent one is Boris and his friend.
Right.
Which is still funny, the fact that he's
Yeah.
not Russian. Because a lot of people in the comments said, like, oh, these are all the funny parts are in the trailer. Like, you're not gonna enjoy it as much. I laughed just as hard as I did in the movie than I did when I was watching the trailer.
Right.
I just thought all the jokes, for the most part, landed, to be honest with you. I was talking to you before.
Yeah. I mean, there was a couple of cheesy jokes, like, the whole I'll be back and all that. He did it up a few too many times, The first time he did it was cool, but then we kept doing it. I was like, okay.
They did a lot of those. They broke the rule of 3 a few times.
Yeah.
Where they did a joke more than 3 times. Because for those of you who don't know, in comedy, the rule of 3
in
is...
American comedy.
Well-
That's I mean, comedy is definitely, like, not universal.
So then let's take that back. So for those who are unfamiliar with the rule of 3 in American comedy, it's when you do the same joke 3 different times within like a short time span, or you can do it over the course of a movie. It's just something relatable that are 3 different things.
Like, you could basically use the same joke 3 times.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then if you go over that, then it starts to like really weigh on the people's patience because they might not find it as funny. But in this one,
And it's not just the same joke. It's like jokes in general. Like, if you have a scene, like if you have like Daniel and I are talking, there's an interaction. You want to have 3 jokes within that interaction. Like this, and then you finish it off at
Yep.
the end.
So it's like the act structure. Your setup, your meat and potatoes, and then your kind of like your wrap up. But
Yeah, and usually you don't see more than 3 callbacks.
which is what you
Yeah.
see. There's a scene where Love is. They think he might be infected, and Veer Das keeps going into like the guy's Boris's ear and he's like, "Oh no, I think he's fine. Oh, I think he's fine." Like after each round of testing, like
Yeah.
he keeps going into his ear and he's like, "I think he's fine." And he's like, "No, I don't think he's fine. I think whatever." And they do it like 5 or 6 times where he says it.
Yeah.
That wouldn't play in American films. I still thought it was funny, but I did get tired. I'm like, okay. Like, when you extend jokes out that long, I feel like they only become funny because they've been extended out even longer.
Yeah.
Like, they become funny again in some weird way.
I mean, there was a lot of cool stuff. They get to the island that have the big party, and then the guy with the platter of drugs, like, and okay, these pills are bad because it's a zombie movie, so that the pills are gonna be.
I didn't actually.
No.
Yeah,
when I saw him, especially because he came out with the priest outfit, like he came out with like he was like this evil like mage.
Right. No, I didn't even.
And he came out with the platter. I was like, okay, and I knew it was gonna be the issue
I
because
just figured that's how they partied in Goa.
no, well when Hardick goes to get one and the guy's like it's 5,000 and he's like when the main actors
5,000.
don't take the pill.
Well, yeah, of course.
Like
Yeah.
like
Then
right then
they're
I know
not
like
gonna be...
that pill is bad news. And I think they set that up nice with the guy, the way he was dressed.
Absolutely.
And it was blatant. For me, I'm surprised you didn't pick up on it. I thought it was blatant and it was done on purpose, like blatantly on purpose.
What, the pills?
Yeah.
Well, no, I knew that these pills were going to... I didn't know that it was going to be... Okay, hold on. Let me take a step back. What I didn't know is that the pills were going to cause people to become zombie-like. Because they're not really zombies.
Oh, they're zombies.
No, the guy explained it. They're not really zombies.
No, he said...
They're all dead except for one part of the brain, and that one part of the brain just wants to get high. And that's That's the twist about this film. Which I fucking enjoyed. I liked it. I didn't see that coming.
I thought
That's what I didn't see
I thought that
coming.
was a cool explanation of it, but I mean, it's still a zombie.
Sure, but I'm just saying it's their twist on the zombie thing.
But they still wanted human flesh instead of
No, they just wanted to get high, Gian. Because what stops the zombies at the end?
well, finally,
Cocaine.
the drugs. Yeah.
That's it. They didn't need blood. They just needed They needed to get high. That's why I thought it was funny.
But in the meantime, they were eating each other.
The one thing I didn't like though was that's not a very good drug when you think about it. I mean, that doesn't really leave room for like repeat customers.
Right.
Like you can't really get addicted to it if it kills you.
Yeah, I think he explains that in the movie as well. Like, this thing is too potent, and obviously, we see what happens.
They need to go back to the drawing board. And
yeah,
tone it down
I think
a little
so.
bit.
Yeah, maybe after they like get rid of all the zombies on the mainland too.
Yeah, I don't know how they spread out there, but that was
Well,
an
I knew that
interesting
I knew that was coming too. I kind of felt that, and I'm glad it ended that way instead of being like a happy ending, or like I'm glad that one of the things that I found hilarious was that heartache and love kept trying to get at the girl, and it was like the moment thing. Oh, that was a moment. I thought.
And then they switched spots.
Yeah, and it's the same thing every single time, and she's like, no. She's like, no, guys. We're fucking trying to survive here, okay? People are trying to bite our faces off. Like, I don't have time for this, all right, guys?
It was funny though.
Yeah,
I liked it
because
it works for. I feel like it works as
like no matter how much these guys grow, they're still the same.
Exactly,
people.
And I think that's important because that's something that you can connect to. Like we can connect to as Americans because we've seen that trope time and time again throughout movies, and as Indians. I can guarantee you they've seen it time and time again because we've watched it just in the few movies that we've seen where you have those same tropes of here's the leading man has to get the woman and there's going to be a scene where they kiss and it's romantic and everyone's happy and blah blah blah. I mean even in Padman there's a whole like romantic thing which I won't get into, but it's same thing. Even in a movie like that where I didn't expect it coming, they put it in there. It's a different context, different scenario because the woman that he was going to like basically make love with wasn't his wife, and so it was a whole different like dynamic, but it's still the same beats. And so anytime a movie can just throw those beats on top of their head and just throw you for a ride, I think is a good time. Because like we mentioned before, this isn't a movie that's going to transcend zombie films or anything like that, but it definitely sits there within the pantheon of like entertaining zombie movies.
It's got a lot of good scenes, a lot of good moments. Like one of my favorite jokes was when they're like, we need a gun, and Boris is like, okay, here's a gun. He's like, don't use a lot of bullets. All right, we don't have enough bullets.
They unload the
magazines. And the first thing they do is just, and they're
Veer Das gets a little fucking the little Men in Black gun.
Yeah.
That little like. I thought it was funny. I just Boris was funny. The fact that that joke where he's supposed to be Russian and he's not.
Right.
He's from Delhi.
Which was in the trailer, but it was funny.
Still funny.
Yeah.
Just through and through. I like that none of our heroes died. I like that you kind of Bunny does die for a minute, and then you're like, oh fuck, maybe they did kill him, like, because they just didn't go back for him.
Dude shouldn't have pulled his knife out on Bunny.
I know they fucked up, but. Then you learn that. So I just liked how they actually used his lack of death to actually cause a reveal to stop the zombies, as opposed to like, he's just alive.
They kept setting up that he was going to die too. They kept putting.
He even said like, I'm going to be the first one to die.
Yeah, exactly.
This and that, blah blah blah. But it was it just fit. It was I don't know. It was a weird movie that worked. I like the fact that Boris killed his friend with an RPG.
Yeah,
that shit made me laugh. His friends like are on that tower, and he jumps down to like kill him, and the chick throws the RPG at him and shoots him. He launched in the air and blows up. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like there's a lot of absurd, stupid moments like that, but they're just funny. They're funny.
Yeah,
stupid
it was
moments.
Supposed to be absurd for the comedy aspect of it. A lot of good stuff. I like that a lot. I like how Priyanka was on the island at the same time. Well, she did mention that she was going to go after she breaks up. I like that she was on there and a zombie.
She was dead, and the boyfriend.
And the boyfriend. Although I thought it would have been a little bit funnier if he just started like fucking like laughing at her that she's a zombie, like fucking
bitch.
Yeah, that's what you know. But it fit because he was getting surrounded by like that's what caused him to. He almost got past the zombies by pretending to be a zombie, and seeing her like. Is what
triggered him, which is a valid reason to be triggered.
It was, yeah,
it wasn't like just someone grabbed him. It was like, oh shit. Because you would probably react the same way too.
Yeah.
This girl that you loved or whatever one might be, and now she's
bought a
dead.
ring for her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what the return policy is in India, but I don't know. What is it here?
At jewelry stores, I think maybe within like a first couple days, like maybe 72 hours.
Is it if she says no policy?
There's got to be some sort of regret thing,
If she says no and it's on camera and you bring in the evidence, then you can have.
And if you can't return it, then what you do is you hold on to it and then you give it to the next girl, but you don't tell the next girl that you bought.
You already paid
before.
for it. Yeah. No, that's It's the thought that counts.
I mean, people think that's shady, but I'm like, you know what?
Who thinks that?
A ring is a ring. A lot of people put it out there.
Well,
they'll tell us. You guys will comment and let us know. I don't know. I feel like this movie. The one drawback about this movie and us reviewing it is that because it was so straightforward and just kind of not
Can't really
challenging.
go deep into it.
Can't go deep into it. There's really not much going on. Like there's nothing.
Everything was surface level.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
and
really go through and find like
if you
certain
wanna-
lines
if you wanna-
and like extrapolate on things. Like there was a lot of references to like Shaun of the Dead and Evil Dead, but I'm personally trying to avoid comparing this movie to other American films or doing. Let's just talk about it as it is, which is.
Well, I mean, the drug spin was definitely different. Like we've never seen that before. Like in a lot of zombie movies, there's never an explanation of why people start turning.
Yeah.
You know,
unless it's like 28 days later with the rage virus.
Or Resident Evil, where, you know, the T virus is something that was manufactured.
Absolutely.
And they put it out there. You know, even Walking Dead, they still have never explained why people got infected.
Nope.
But in...
they started to like, they hinted at it in season 1, and then they blew up the CDC.
Right, exactly.
Which I still hate because... Anyway. I fucking hate Walking Dead. But anyway, I don't want to talk about American shit.
Yeah. So I thought that was for me like a really cool little spin on it, you know, just, and it's still simple. It was like, oh, we made a drug.
You believe it.
We made a drug and it worked too well.
And that's it. And that's it.
What was never really explained though was like why Boris, it seemed like he was expecting it. Like he wasn't like,
he was prepared.
He was prepared.
He had guns. Yeah, he had RPG.
He wasn't worried about it, so it wasn't maybe the
Russian mafia, man. It'll do that to you.
Maybe the guys in the lab were like, you know, hey, there's a small chance that this drug is going to kill people and reanimate them.
I've never seen skeet shooting with cocaine.
That's new too. Yeah.
Definitely, skeet shooting with cocaine is definitely something that is not very common.
Yeah.
In terms of complaints, if I had to complain about something, because it wouldn't be a review without it. I didn't like the title cards they used. I felt like they were overused. Those Guy Ritchie style title cards where it would just say, oh, you know, so and so, and then not dead or dead, and then the gun. Like they didn't say go a gone until like an hour into the movie. They had a go a gone title card.
Right. I mean, and I'm gonna piggyback on that. Those title cards were so like unimpressive and ineffective that I don't even remember them. Like
they just weren't necessary.
I seriously don't remember seeing the title cards, like, because I was.
They were red. They were just randomly like after a certain action, they would kind of it felt random. That's the thing. They didn't feel motivated.
Right.
In a Guy Ritchie movie, they're 100% motivated.
Yeah.
And they're done well.
Yeah.
But
this definitely wasn't that stylized.
No, and then I could talk about the bad CGI, the bad blood work,
but
the bad gun work.
If you guys want to watch our Black Panther review, I don't want to talk about bad CGI because. I'm pretty sure that...
No, it didn't bother me. That's what I was
saying. It didn't bother me either. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like...
It was bad, but it didn't bother me. Like, the way they shot certain guns,
it
like...
It kind of played...
The guy was shooting a gun like... Yeah. Boris was shooting a shotgun like this, which is... If anyone's ever shot a shotgun before, you're not going to, like... It's going to blow... Anyway, but, no. So, but it didn't distract me, though.
Right.
Black Panther, what Gian was going to say, Black Panther, that was distracting.
You can check out our reaction right there. It'll pop up on the screen. Yeah, no, it was. I feel like even the cheesy blood splatter kind of fit the tone of the movie. Like
it did.
It didn't need to be like super.
No, because if it was the practical effects that were used, like when Bunny was watching the other guy get eaten and the arm flies on him or the hand or whatever. That was all practical. That looked good, but that's what it needed. Right. You know, when you have hordes and hordes of zombies, one flash of a zombie getting shot in the face, like, okay. And to be honest with you, what I enjoyed most about this as a zombie film is they kind of didn't. It wasn't an action-packed film. It was more about the comedy.
Yeah.
I feel like in a lot of films that are zombie films, they care all about the action. They never really cared about to sit down, to take it in.
And it's expectations from zombie movie fans. Like, they're expecting blood, guts, and gore.
I hate it now.
It's like,
genuinely do.
There's that show, Z Nation.
I haven't seen it, but it looks like an action
It's terrible.
piece.
It's terrible, but people that are hardcore zombie movie fans love it, and they love it way more than Walking Dead, because it's like, this is like what real zombie shows are supposed to be about. And the acting is terrible, everything is cheesy, but I hear it's got a lot of gore, so people are into that.
See, I was into it. I genuinely was when I was younger, because there wasn't a lot of gory zombie movies.
Yeah.
So like to see a new practical effect was like, oh great. And that's the other thing too. Old school zombie movies were almost all practical.
Yeah.
So to watch gore, to watch George Romero and Tom Savini, rip people apart and actually see things like flesh being ripped. That was cool because you didn't see that with a computer.
Terrible red-orange blood.
It was terrible. It was the Godfather tomato juice, when what's his name gets shot in the face at the end. What's his name? Mo Green. He gets shot and there's like tomato juice coming out of his face.
Yeah.
No, it was bad. And then the zombies in George Romero they just like had like white makeup. They were just like super pale, but they had no like infections or anything. But things started changing.
The zombies have evolved quite a bit. I mean, it definitely reminded me of Shaun of the Dead a little bit.
There was a few Shaun of the Dead references.
Yeah.
There was a scene where there's a truck that drives by, like a group of zombies, and one of them has like a red tie. There was like a group of like 4 or 5 zombies, and I wrote down, like, I paused it, and I'm like, oh, that looks like Rick from The Walking Dead, the girl from the Dawn of the Dead remake. I'll put a screenshot of what I'm talking about. The girl from the Dawn of the Dead remake, Shaun of the Dead, and then I saw Ash from Evil Dead, because they were wearing like similar outfits. And then there was like 3 other people.
It made an Evil Dead reference.
There's a few, because they call them Evil Deads.
Yeah.
They didn't call them zombies.
Yeah,
at first.
they're like, are they Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Or ghosts?
Exactly.
And it was like, no, and that was the Indian thing, that this is India. There's no zombies here.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to the movie?
No.
So let's get to our ratings. What do you give it out of 10?
It was a hard 7.
Okay.
It was a hard 7.5 actually. I thought it was funny. I would have been curious to see this in the theater. I'm just to see if it would have became an even more intense or funny film.
Yeah.
Because usually when you watch things in the theater, everything becomes more amplified.
Right.
So like watching it at home, it's not always the same experience.
I'm gonna give it a 7 myself, and I think the communal experience was definitely needed for this. Like, I watched it while I didn't watch it all the way through. I had to like cut it here and there because of the baby. And I was watching it by myself with the volume down. And I feel like if I was watching it with someone else, like, had we watched it together, or just being in a theater with a bunch of people, it's so much funnier when there's other people there. That's
because you'll laugh more.
Yeah,
by
exactly.
Hearing more laughter in your mind, you're laughing too, and it's a good time.
It just makes it comfortable too. Like, you feel comfortable laughing at stuff. I think, and it's just I think this would have been great to watch. This would have been great, like, Friday night date movie.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I 100% recommend this to anyone. Like, this would go along with like Raman Raghav and like Dongal. Like, this is a movie I'd want to own. This is a movie I'd put right alongside other zombie movies.
I do own it on YouTube now.
Oh,
it was like $2.99 to rent the SD,
like $3.99 to buy it,
and it was $4.99 to buy it. It was $3.99 for HD4, and I was like, I'll just pay the extra $2 and keep it.
Now you own it.
Yeah.
I wish you would have told me that before I downloaded it illegally, but whatever. The one thing
you still wouldn't have paid for it. So.
The last thing I will say about it though is the movie didn't lull. The movie didn't suffer from third act problems. The movie didn't suffer from like, oh, it was a great hour, and then all of a sudden it falls flat on its ass.
No, the pacing was pretty steady, and it was right on.
It was consistent.
It did what it needed to do.
100%.
That's the best way to put it.
And it also took 30 minutes before you actually started the story. So we got 30 minutes of character scenes, of background, of just building the dynamic of the friendship between everybody. That's 30 minutes. That's really important. I mentioned this yesterday in the Black Panther review.
Well, that's a strong first act. That's what your first act. That's a classic Hollywood first act. You get to know the characters, you get to know the world, and then they break up. Boom, they go to Goa.
That's what I'm saying.
Act, yeah.
I think that was very strong, because I think in a lot of movies, zombies would have been in the first 15 minutes.
I wonder, like, let's, and this is me speculating, but do you think that maybe the reason why this movie didn't do so well is because it was so Hollywood, like, it had that same kind of Hollywood structure?
Throw it out there. What do you think in the comments?
Did
you like it? Did you guys like? Because in the trailer comments, everyone seemed to say.
Yeah.
For the most part, there were some people who said like,
people were too excited for us to review this movie. There's definitely other films I want us to review instead of this, but we like the trailer so much that
This is a good palate cleanser for sure.
Yeah, it's a good restart to go into heavier movies next because.
Well, I mean, I watched Podman, and then this is a movie I watched right after, and I feel like I'm on a roll. Like Podman, whatever, however you say it, was great. And this was good, but it makes me confident to, delve into our next movie review, which is going to be My Name is Khan. So I'm looking forward to it. Definitely one that's been highly requested since we started doing videos.
Definitely, like, we never should have done that trailer reaction. Like, or we should have held off on it because
It's been like so requested.
yeah, like when are you guys gonna do it? And we still got to finish pictures. We're finding the time to finish pictures. I know that's a complaint now that we haven't completed the series yet.
Because we've started a few series that we haven't completed, but we're gonna start.
Well, no, this is only actually series.
Well,
and the condom
Sex
one.
with Papu.
Sex with Papa
and
and Papu.
then there was the one with the girls.
That's not a continuous thing though. I feel like
I said episode 1, so I assumed it was a series.
right. Maybe.
Well, I don't know. Either way, we're gonna start to do that more. Like we had mentioned, we're already doing the movie review part.
But as you noticed this week, there's like 3 reviews, so we're gonna try to do more reviews than trailer reactions. We don't want to be a reaction channel. You know, I don't think we've ever explicitly said it, but we want to review movies. We want to do film making stuff, and we want to eventually start putting out our original content as well for you guys to watch, because I think that you can watch reactions from anyone. They're pretty much the same regardless of who's doing it. They obviously there's different things and people talk differently about them, but for the most part, you know, the experience you're getting is just watching someone else and seeing how they viewed the trailer through their own eyes.
And we want to teach you. We want to enlighten you. We want to inform you, because, you know, if you look at our record of what we've done in the past, it's hard for us to say we're not a reaction channel.
Yeah.
Because that's all we fucking have.
It's a majority. They're easy to do. They're fast to do, and they're short. You know, a lot of these.
But it's not what we want to do.
No,
it's not what we signed up for. It's not
it's not what we went to film school for.
Exactly.
For sure.
We're filmmakers, and that's what we're going to try
to
not try to prove to you. That's what we are going to show you guys, and that's why.
And we love film, and we don't know like how much some of these other channels like really love film, if they love film as much as we do. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. You know the drill. If you're not a subscriber and you enjoyed the review, please hit the subscribe button. We are very, very close. We're just under 1,000 subscribers needed to hit 10,000, and that's going to trigger a Bollywood film, which we were working on. Not a Bollywood film, excuse me. A Bollywood dance number.
Short film.
A short film that we've been working on that you guys are going to love. And
maybe they'll love it.
I'm confident. I'm positive. I'm confident.
I'm dancing.
I've
lost some weight. I've lost about 30 pounds in the last 2 months. So that way when I take my shirt off.
Daniel has lost 30 pounds, but since he's never had any muscle up here, you can't tell. Yeah. Because this like, there's nothing to lose here because there was no muscle here in the first place. So, you know, I mean, his face is still fat, as you can tell.
It is fat.
And
I was looking at him like, man, I can't. Where did these 30 pounds disappear from? Because like they disappeared from the scale, but I don't know where they disappeared on my body. Like I still feel the same. I don't know how much. I don't know if I need to become anorexic.
Would you say you have a traditional Mexican body?
For sure.
Okay.
I have not only do I have a traditional Mexican body, I have a traditional Mexican woman body. Like I'm the Mexican woman that's like fucking huge up top, and then they wear like size 0 pants, and their fucking fat just hangs over, but they have like the skinniest toothpick legs, and you just look like that two bodies were sewed together. That's what I look like. Like if you look at me from the waist down, you're like, oh, that guy's probably healthy weight. And then you look at me from the waist up, you're like, fuck, dude, what's wrong with this guy? But no, I mean, for those who don't know, I wish I had pictures of fat Mexican ladies for some comparisons.
You can find them.
I don't want to. I'm like, that's not, yeah. But no, that's a reality. You know, I'm Mexican, so I get to talk shit about Mexicans. That's the rule. I think that's how it works.
You can always talk shit about yourself. But anyways, smash that like button. Leave comments. Let us know what you think. And we will see you next time. Check out the Podmon review. Check out the Black Panther review. And check out some of our other reviews. 3 Idiots, Dongal, so on and so forth. And we'll see you next time.
Sultan.
Our very first review.